All right, y'all. It's time for another update at Mary's property where we have irrigation. So things have been growing a lot this summer. So I'm gonna jump right into it because there's a lot to show. Oh, it looks like a lot of these guavas are ready to pick. We've been having to bag a lot of things just because the insect pressure is pretty intense. All right, so long story short, Mary's property, I'll put a little card so you can see the beginning of when I first landed on this property. So you can see the evolution of it now, up until now. But it was installed kind of basically, with all the basics of agroforestry system. And when I arrived, I kind of just filled in gaps and added things and added mulch and blah, blah, blah. So here we are now. And so that was in sometime in like the late winter, early spring, maybe around there. So we're here in the late summer, and I've kind of just been managing all summer long. Like, I haven't had time to lay down fresh mulch or anything. It's just things, once a system is established like this, I'm just with the machete and my hand scythe, pretty much every day. So I'm almost finished with the managing, but for just one person, it takes a while. So let's get into it. So one of the major things I did was plant a whole bunch of Corymbia torrelianas, and they're starting to find their way up. We have an elderberry here, a native elderberry from the side of the road that I propagated. One of the biggest things I've been doing as well is thinning these bananas. These were micro-propagated bananas, and I think they were planted. I'm not sure exactly why, but a lot of these have been suckering intensely. Like, they've been putting out pups crazily, and with the extra irrigation, they just keep pumping. So I've been doing a lot of thinning of the pups, which is it's a nice task because it's a lot of organic matter, as you can see, all the time, but it's a little bit annoying having to do it over and over again. And the problem that I've been having is that when they installed these bananas, they did it with an auger, so they planted them really deep, I think, and I think a lot of these pups are coming out from the deep. So it's hard to, I have my technique of killing them by, like this one's dead, this one isn't, obviously, by taking out you just core them out with the machete, with the end of the machete. But these are coming out from so deep down in there that it's hard to get to their growth point, so they just keep coming back. So been thinning a lot of the bananas, so you can see tons of banana biomass helping to protect all the little baby trees in here. So there's so much stuff going on here that it's hard to show everything. So, but the basic sort of trees that we have down here are Suriname cherries, red custard apples. We have some rose apples that I foraged in Honduras. We have loquats, a bunch of things. And then the bigger things are the things that were already here. So bananas, definitely the main focus for the early part of this food forest. We have the guavas, like I said, as well. This beautiful star fruit is coming along. We have a lot of deer pressure here too, because a part of this intention of this food forest is also for wildlife habitat. So one thing, me and Mary both I love wildlife. So this is another aspect of this food forest. Wow, look at that beautiful little shade once everything is managed. So I have a couple spots that I've yet to manage, so you can see the difference. But so we have a lot of deer pressure, and this deer are notorious for loving star fruit leaves. So it's nice to see that the few star fruit we have, there's a lot of freaking bugs here too. I just got bit by fire ants. Really, really bad fire ant problem here. So it's nice to see that. I think with all this diversity here, the deer kind of just pick and choose what they want to eat, and they don't like beeline it to their favorites. So yeah, things like starfruit, more Suriname cherries down in the bottom. I'm trying to find, since I work a lot with seeds, it's a lot of these are still young, so I have to kind of look for it. Mira eats tons of pineapples, so there's a lot of pineapple tops that we've been planting. A lot of watermelon too as a ground cover, and thankfully a lot of them have been producing, which is nice to see. I don't have a lot of experience with watermelon, so it's nice to see that they've been coming along. A lot of mountain soursop as well. A lot of this stuff got hit hard by the past 2 frosts that we got, but the irrigation helps sort of give it a boost once it's kind of coming back. So so we're hoping that with all the bananas up top and with all the mulch now, that I think in the future frosts, I think especially the stuff that is more inside the system will be more protected. So she's got more cold hardy stuff like this mountain soursops, and they're all coming up nicely. A lot of mulberries randomly planted everywhere. I did have tons of support species like moringa, castor bean, pigeon pea. This is that white hibiscus that I like using, that a bird planted on my property like 2 years ago. So yeah, tons of stuff. And now I've been managing them all and opening light for the stuff that she already had here. More high priority stuff like this caimito, I'm pretty sure, star apple. So yeah, you can see the remnants of like what I used to have here to help get things going. There's some okra. Ground covers, like I said. So we mulched the pathways as well. When I first got here, there were grass, and it was a pain in the ass to like manage the grass. So we just mulched everything. She has a big property here, so we've been dumping tons of mulch here. So the mulch plus irrigation combo is a winner, because things just explode with growth. More custard apple. You can see Suriname cherries as well. I like planting Suriname cherries a lot because they kind of grow relatively slow compared to other trees, but they're good sort of like, they can take the shade. So it's something to look for, and like direct your biomass towards that. Like say you have a lot of I guess I'll just make it quick. Like I like Suriname cherries as a placeholder plant, because then they start to come up, you see these red leaves, and you know that you can put one more thing there, because they grow relatively slow and they're a good understory, so they can take the shade. So you can see Suriname cherry start because they're so prolific when they seed. You can find them here in Florida like pretty easily if you look around hard enough. So you can see like it gives me a place to put all the biomass, especially with a system this big. It's like hard to prioritize where you're gonna put your biomass. But so you can see perfectly here, like this, it will be a bigger tree higher up, and this one could stay down. And I really like seeing this little red new leaves. It's like a signal saying, hey, put biomass here, because you know you can work with this area, because this will just stay as the lower level tree. You can put like a mango, avocado, whatever, and have that be the higher strata tree. So it's kind of like, I've been liking the Suriname cherry as like a focal point to put biomass. But anyways, so yeah, you can see things have been managed. A lot of papaya as well. And you know, we have a big issue with the papaya fruit fly here, so we've been trying to bag all this papaya. And like I said, the fire ants, it's been crazy to see how much fire ants are here. Got some vestigial okra hanging on. Fire ants love the okra too. So yeah, you can see a lot of pineapple action. And just keep walking down. Service species, more pineapple down there. We got a sugar apple right here, nice sugar apple. We have more cucurbits as a ground cover. We have watermelon, Seminole pumpkin, other things like that. Mulberries, like I said. Here's an avocado that's been a grafted avocado, so it's been having some fruit set for a while now, and they take forever to ripen. This beautiful tamarind putting on new growth. Beautiful, beautiful new growth. Loving that spot there. So yeah, let me go to the other side so I'm against the sun. Let's see. Man, there's just so much to show. It's a little hard. So I did those two sections. So I guess I just do 2 by 2 so you could go down the line. All right, so we're backing out here. And same basic pattern. Bananas spaced out at specific spacing, and then me filling in things in between. So here's some mulberry, moringas everywhere, more Suriname cherry on the bottom. Again, as that sort of like a target that I can put organic matter around, and then put more seeds in there if needed. I think this is a canistel here. So this, a lot of the things that I had sitting around my nursery at my house, I kind of planted over here because I knew it would do good because there's irrigation. There's this grafted mango, I'm not sure what kind it is. Here we have a Jamaican cherry tree that I pruned up so that there's some more walking space. And you can see it's doing its thing, reaching for the stars up there. More of that combo of red custard apple and Suriname cherry, pineapples, more bananas. And the bananas should be flowering sometime soon. So hopefully we can get a lot of bananas out of this. Moringas everywhere. And continue. Some leucanas and stuff as well. A lot of these more service species that require a lot more sunlight aren't doing too well because there was already an established system when I got here. There were things planted, so they were there just because I had tons of seeds laying around. So this beautiful mango is doing well. Again, more squash and watermelon and stuff as a ground cover. Yeah, give you a little view from the just like a general view, and then I'll try to just look for, I think this is a pomegranate. Nice to see it doing decently. I'm always looking for little seedlings that we have planted. It's kind of hard. It's a big it's a big jungle in here. It's kind of hard to see the things that we planted. So yeah, the watermelons are coming along, which is really nice. Mary loves watermelon, so we're gonna try to incorporate that even more going forward. Watermelon, tiny little Seminole pumpkin. Okay, so we'll do this one now. Sweet potatoes are ground cover as well. Again, squash. Trying to think of other things she has here. Okay, let's do this. So we're going against the sun. Random little katuk Katuks too. Here we see more casters. I haven't managed here yet. The casters have done their job, so there's no really need for them anymore. Plus they're housing a lot of the fire ants. So it's time to chop them all down. So you can see I chopped a lot of them down. I left this one just because it's out of the way, but most of them I've chopped down. More mulberry. Oh yeah, there's a lot of Pachira glabra right here, which is Malabar chestnut, or is one of those nut-bearing trees. Beautiful seed. She brought them from Israel. She's from Israel, so she went a few months ago and brought back some seeds, and that was one of them. So I'm pretty sure they'll do well here. Another tamarind here. Really nice. Looks like some sort of leguminous tree. Kind of looks like a Royal Poinciana, but I'm not sure. More Suriname cherry. We're gonna have a lot of Suriname cherry, which is awesome. A lot of jack beans. Maybe in one of the videos I made before, you can see how important the jack beans were at the beginning, but now they're starting to phase out. A lot of banana biomass everywhere from all these suckers, from all the little pups coming up. Some sort of Annona here as well. Again, the Corymbia Torrellianas are starting to pop. Moringas are starting to pop. The random fig here that's not looking too great. Let's see. Here's a big castor. I'll leave some casters, but yeah. There's a wasp up there. You can sort of see how it looks in between the main sort of walkway. A lot of life, tons of life actually. It's been crazy to see how much animals come out here, so it's been a delight. Random jackfruits as well. Have a couple in here. Hopefully they don't get frosted out. Mary lives close to me, so she gets the same frost issues that I do, and sort of the same deal where there's a lot of open space all around. More papaya, more of that Pachira glabra, pineapple. Let's see. Trying to find some rose apple seedlings. I've seen a few of them pop up. I'm excited because I brought those from Honduras, and it's cool to see them come up. Yeah, more Suriname cherry. Honestly, when I first started here, it happened to be Suriname cherry season, and I just harvested tons of Suriname cherry, and I just threw them all here because I knew that they were gonna do good because of the irrigation. Giant milkweed, another cool little accent plant. It takes from cuttings, so this was just one cutting. Boom, it exploded into all these. So cool little plant just to have. Here's a thick papaya. It's crazy, the ants just like climb up and down this thing. Fire ants here are insane. I've never seen anything like it. But we're hoping that with all this organic matter and maybe a more diversified arthropod life, that they'll sort of their numbers will decrease over time. But they have been let me go to the other side. They've been definitely territorial and angry, and it's a little rough working in here right now this time of year, just because the ants are just mad, and things are overgrown a little bit. So it's one thing to have fire ants just on the ground, to like be careful, but these fire ants are like climbing up trees, and you rub your shoulder on the tree, and now the fire ants on your shoulder and crawling down your shirt. It's been a little rough, but we're hoping to see some progress over time. I hope, you know, awesome mulberry right here. I think this is the world's best, or Tice. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm so glad that she has so many mountain soursaps. She kind of just bought a whole bunch of trees and knew about some, didn't know much about others, and just kind of bought a lot. So I'm happy for the selection that she made, because a lot of these plants are cool. I know I'm missing so many cool things, but it's hard to sort of. Another guava here. Another big leaf mulberry right here that I just pruned back. Help it bush out because it was leaning a little bit. And that's the whole thing with this, with the managing, you know, like I planted a whole bunch of things to help with the just to get, you know, a lot of vegetative life here, because it was kind of sparse. It was, when I first got here, it was just like the main stuff, like the banana and the papaya and things like that. And I filled in the gaps with a lot of stuff, because if not, it would have turned into, which you'll see over there, just the weeds were encroaching really, really bad when I first got here. So I kind of planted a bunch of things. And now that things are growing, it's my job to sort of remove some of the things and like edit some of the things that I planted, so that that biomass will come down to the ground, sunlight will open up, breeze, airflow, all the, you know, the usual things that I talk about when it comes to managing and chop and drop. So so that these future trees for the future will have space to grow up. And one of the telltale signs that you need to manage is when like these sun-loving trees, like this mulberry here, they start leaning over trying to catch that sunlight. So what I often do is I go back to a point where, you know, it's still relatively sturdy. So this was like leaning like this, and then I cut it and then just like went up. And then now, without all the casters and without some of the bigger plants, now this mulberry is gonna have a chance to do its thing, you know. We have a mame sapote here. It's cool. Hopefully it does well. The deer do love the mulberries though, so I do have a lot of mulberry damage, but that's okay. It's part of the whole deal here. Another mountain soursop here. This is gonna be an awesome tree in the future, so can't wait for it. Got the lizards loving the fact that there's all these new little trees here. They love doing that, just kind of camouflaging and getting the high ground for their hunting. Yeah, more mulberry. Definitely always advise people to plant as much mulberry as possible, because they take from cuttings and they grow fast, and you can sort of do a hybrid of like using them obviously for food, for the berries, but for microclimate purposes, for chop and drop. They're such a multifunctional shrub, tree, whatever. Another jackfruit, more of the red custard apples, more pineapples. So yeah, you can see here now I'm getting to the point where I haven't managed yet. So everything that way I've managed, and then everything this way I've yet to manage, which isn't much. So you can see how the casters are still a prominent part of the system here. You can see how much shade it's casting down there compared to this. You can see I've lopped the heads off all these casters. Still some shade, definitely. But when it's high noon, you know, it's going to be a different story. So yeah, you can see the jack beans as well, kind of creating that barrier. Not really needed at this point, but it was needed at first when things were encroaching and there wasn't a lot of vegetation to protect the main plants. So it's a little bit hard to see in here, but you can see just how protected, you know, let's say the Suriname cherry is, or that red custard apple right there. You can just see how amazing of a coverage these plants provide. We have a Hong Kong orchid, Bauhinia. Yeah, and there's other trees down in there, I'm sure. Seedling mangoes and things like that, little avocados, but there was so much already here to work with that I didn't feel the need to try to fill every single square inch. Sometimes I get into that mindset, and for this project, you know, believe me, I still planted tons of, that's my MO, you know, I plant a lot, but yeah, I didn't want to overdo it either because there's already so much going on here. Tons of red custard apple because I just was lucky enough to find a couple trees that had a whole bunch, and me and a friend took down a lot of red custard apples, and so I've been using them here. So one last one. Oh, another beautiful star fruit. Okay, so you can see here, this is like the spot where I sort of stopped, kind of ran out of time. Summer was about to start, and so I didn't do the full sort of syntropic style, all these support species and all that jazz. So you can see sort of the difference. Like there's a lot more sunlight coming in, which means a lot more bite-ins, and different weed species can creep in. So here's a lychee that I've had to put extra mulch around because I didn't have the time to protect it with other plants. So I got to protect it with mulch instead. And you know, in some ways it's nice to just like forget about all the seeds and all the craziness and kind of just like, all right, we'll just mulch the heck out of something. Here's another tamarind, beautiful new growth, kind of getting strangled by this morning glory thing. So yeah, it's, you know, sure, there's a lot of torpedo grass and there's a lot of other weeds in here, but it's not a big deal at the end of the day. It's less managing for me. That's kind of like not trap, but that's kind of like the balance of all this syntropic, super labor intensive chop and drop managing. It's like, yeah, in theory, it's really cool. I personally love it. It's what I'm passionate about, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot of upkeep, you know, it's not for the faint of heart. If you don't like, you know, being out here sweating your butt off with a machete, then you might not want to do things super as intensely as what I do. You can keep it very simple. Just know that you have to contend with maybe these more sun-loving weeds. You can just easily mulch over them over and over and over again. A lot of watermelon ground cover. a lot of flowers. I don't yet see much fruit yet, so hopefully something happens. Yeah, you can see just how much weeds there are there. Here's a noni. There's a nice cool tree here. I'm trying to see if there's any fruit. No, not yet. Tiny little flower, so forming into a fruit right there. There it is. Of course, there's bugs on it. Uh-oh. There we go. A lot of sun hemp. At this point, like I said, I was running out of time to do more elaborate setups. You know, like that's the elaborate syntropic, you know, succession, everything. And then this was just, I ran out of time over here. So you can see everything's a little bit shorter, not as like crazy. So I just kind of opted for, let me just do this last row. I kind of just opted for first keeping it simple, putting sun hemp. Wow, look at this sea of watermelon. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a lot of watermelon. I can't even step. Oh my goodness. It's all coming out over here. That's all watermelon. That's funny. Oh, this is a cool tree, actually. This is the candle nut tree. Forget what it's called, like the scientific name, but doing good. I guess I'll just, let's see. Oh yeah, I showed that because I had, okay, so this is the last row. Let's do this. So here we just kind of like try to play around with things for the summertime to see if they'll do good. We tried corn, didn't do that great. Obviously we tried a lot of watermelon, which seems to be doing very good. Now I got to walk over it again. Here's an Imbe, Garcinia livingstonii. So cool tree. I think the deer might have chomped it back or something. More corn that we tried, but like I said, it didn't really work out that well. We tried to do like some tomatoes and things, but it's just, yeah, nothing really took all that great. And as a backup, I did plant tons of sun hemp because I knew that the sun hemp was gonna do good. So more pineapple as well. Here we have, I think this is a persimmon. Oh, and look, there is a watermelon action going on. Yeah, persimmon of some sort. I'm not sure the variety. See if there's anything in here. A mulberry. But when all else fails, just plant sun hemp. Trust me, at least the lizards will appreciate it. They just love having that high ground. No matter what way they get it, whether it's a annual like a sun hemp or a perennial tree. Oh yeah, a lot of okra here. So tons of okra, which the ants absolutely adore. Fire ants adore for whatever reason. So yeah, you can see like this okra looks way better than the ones over there because there's so much stuff going on over there that the okras got outcompeted pretty quickly. But here they're just pumping. Beautiful flower as well. So yeah, we had some sunflowers, but they kind of got toasted in the rain and the heat. Some basils that we planted as well, kind of just hanging on, trying to do something. Here's I think this is a Sabra Jaboticaba. Actually, I'm not sure what kind, but you know, we're trying to put some sun hemp on it, trying to bring it back to life. It's not looking all that great right now, but we'll see. Pineapple, a lot of sun hemp, beautiful sun hemp flowers. More pineapple. When in doubt, just plant more pineapples. Pretty easy to get pineapple tops. And then yeah, this is kind of like a row that I really didn't do much on at this point. Look how small this papaya is compared to all the other ones. You can definitely tell that the plants over there really responded well to all the companion plants that I had and all the different action that's going on. Carimbia looks like a Royal Poinciana that was seeded here naturally. So yeah, you can see just how much the bananas are like pupping really hard. Beautiful grafted mango, I'm not sure what kind. Turmeric doing well. Flowering, beautiful flowers. None of the turmeric at my spot is flowering at all. Beautiful, beautiful flowers on the turmeric. Looks like another mountain soursop here. Super, super awesome tree. I'm so happy that she just so happened to buy like 5 mountain soursops. So hopefully they'll start producing fruit and I can keep propagating them because I feel like there's such a, here, I'll put the camera on it while I'm talking about it. Such a key tree for food forest systems going forward here in Florida, in South Florida, inland South Florida, where we can get some frosts. Awesome biomass, just amazing fruit for the wildlife, for the decomposers. It's amazing. I really love the mountain soursop tree. Here we have a lonely macadamia, not really doing all that well. I should do something about it and maybe give it some plant friends, but Can only do so much in a huge system like this. Oh yeah, and then here's this, didn't get to show you this peach here, which is doing good. I don't have a lot of familiar experience with peaches in Florida, so this might be a Florida specific peach variety, so hopefully it does well and produces. I'm not sure, but that's it. I've been wanting to have an update for this property for a while now, but it's just I've been managing a lot these past couple of weeks, so yeah, it's that's it. This is a big old property and keeps growing, and I can't wait to see the evolution of this, because it's just, with the irrigation, things it just moves so quickly. It's awesome. And the wildlife have been absolutely loving it. I've been seeing so many different types of insects out here that I've never seen anywhere else, and Mary's told me that even some of the deer are starting to lay here for the night and stuff, and starting to use it as a place to sleep. So it's just a cool, super cool project that I'm so happy to be working on, even though it's a lot of work, but it's worth it, and I love it. So it is what it is. Peace.